I actually want to talk about the Lost Ark nerfs. You know what? Like, this is kind of a big topic. That is purple. He's purple. Or do you look at him? He's purple. How can anybody think this is okay? I saw a video that some guy made about it. I saw a little bit about this, but I'm going to go ahead and watch the video and kind of just see what he has to say. Yeah, they said Berserker wasn't really strong enough, and so they're just making Whirlwind do 300% damage. I said that's a good start. You know, it's a good start. You know, just to make sure it's on the same level as everything else. I'm item level 1000. Virtus is still a piece of shit. Can't wait for Virtus to get gutted. So I really want to look into this and talk about it because obviously there's a lot to say about it. This video got recommended to me and I want to watch it right now, and we'll talk about the Lost Ark nerfs. This is a video. I'm not familiar with this this content creator. It's by Hi, I'm Fox, and I think this guy is a as far as I know, this guy's a Lost Ark Andy, isn't he? Yep, so he's a Lost Ark Andy. He's played the game for a long time. I do want to say, though, real quick, if you're having problems with Virtus at 1000 item level, you're having problems. You are having problems. Like, come on, man. Come on, you. Like, just, yes, you. It's not that hard, man. It's really fucking not. Like, I mean, if I was able to beat him on my Berserker with item level appropriate gear, then, and I mean, despite a lot of molding, I finished the fight. I feel like, whenever I came back, I finished the fight at like 12 minutes, right? Like, I think that was pretty good. Yeah, the thing is with Lost Ark, this is something that people don't understand, is that there are so many secondary empowerments. Like, if you're a Warcraft player, you're a WoW player, think about it as like, make sure that you have your Heart of Azeroth upgraded. Make sure that you have the right Azerite traits. Make sure that you have the right corruptions. You know, pretend like this is BFA. And like, you have like your card bonuses. You have your skill point potions that you can get easily if you've been doing a lot of islands and you have some of the island souls. You have your engravings. Engravings are like the biggest thing, right? Too much bullshit? There's a lot of bullshit, but the thing with Lost Ark that makes me okay with its bullshit is that its bullshit doesn't get replaced every fucking patch. And that's what I didn't like about WoW. Fuck, dude. I love it whenever I can actually just play the game and just do a bunch of stuff. That's okay. But what I don't like is whenever I get my shit replaced over and over and over. So yeah, it's a lot of bullshit. There is a lot of bullshit that you have to do, right? So conduits, legendary, renown, enchants, gems, potions, flasks, and runes. Yes. That's right, and I'm totally okay. The thing with WoW, and this is the reason why I think a lot of people don't like the secondary systems, is because they're so fleeting. They're gone. It's like, you know that the time that you invest into your conduits, you know that the time that you're putting into your conduits will not matter. You know this. This is like a fact. But like, imagine, like, let me think. Oh, I hit 1 million. I posted this yesterday. I hit 1 million subscribers on my YouTube channel. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Huge shout out to my editors, who are the real reason why this happened. We'll be doing the golden plaque thing whenever I get it. I'll open it up on stream and everything. So yeah, we hit 1 million fucking subscribers. We get the little gold thing. That's awesome. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I've wanted to say that. I tweeted it out, but I also want to say it on stream. So this is kind of like what the problem is okay, that's not what I was trying to do. So this is what the problem is for WoW, and I want to explain why people are more okay with the WoW systems versus the more okay with the Lost Ark systems versus the WoW systems, right? This right here is the progression path of, let's say, engravings or cards versus conduits and let's see here, World of Warcraft, and then we're going to look at Lost Ark. Okay, and so what happens in Lost Ark is like this. So you start down here and you're like this, and let me just go ahead and make sure that we have this all set up. So basically this is what happens. Lost Ark, what you do, yes, this is an NFT, by the way. This will be, we are minting it as we speak, guys. This is being minted as we speak. So what's happening here is that Lost Ark, whenever you get your first cards, what you do here leads to here. And what you do here leads to here. And what you do here leads to here. The problem with World of Warcraft and why people don't like the systems in WoW is because it goes like this. This is patch, let's say 9.0. And this is patch 9.1. And this is 9.15. And this is 9.12. And this is the next expansion. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how it happens? It gets reset constantly. So the thing is, like with Lost Ark, for example, the reason why people care about getting their engravings, the reason why people care about getting their cards is because they know that will lead them to an overall meta goal in the future. So that's what happened. It's not reset by patch, though. It's by expansion. Really? It's not reset by patch. Okay, let's see about that. What about whenever Azerite Power, you had to refarm the same traits that you already had when Battle of Dazara Lore came out, and then Blizzard found out that World First Raiders could poop socket and complete it earlier, so they doubled the amount of artifact power you needed, so you had to keep playing the game even more. What about Shards of Domination? How about that? Where are Shards of Domination going to be in 9.2? Huh? Oh, that's right. Nowhere. Because I'm right. Huh? Yeah, about that. Also, another one is flying. So we get flying in WoD. Flying in WoD. This was flying in Legion. This was flying in BFA. And this was flying in Shadowlands. And actually, this is really what flying in Shadowlands is. This is flying in 9.2. It's a little hat. Oh, it's a little hat. Look at the little hat, dude. Oh, wow. Isn't that special? Yeah, so that's the way it's happened. And so you have to refarm the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And so that's why I think people are much more frustrated with something like WoW. And that's why they're more okay with what's going on with Lost Ark. That's why the systems are more well received. I feel like this makes complete sense. Amazon is already nerfing Guardian raids and Abyss Rage. Thoughts from a Russian vet. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at this video and see what he's got to say. Okay.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Fox, and welcome to.
I really appreciate this because he knows that I was going to react to his video, so he just preemptively put his camera over on the other side. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate this. It really makes things easier for me. So yeah, this is a video about the Lost Ark nerfs.
Another video. 1 hour ago we got the information that Amazon is planning on nerfing multiple Guardian raids and also Abyssal dungeons.
Yep.
Which is very interesting to me because I don't know where this is.
If he doesn't read the post that that Rox made about it, I will read it afterwards just so I can see what's going on myself.
Coming from. According to the forum post, which I will link obviously below in the description.
Oh, here we go.
It is according to feedback around specific raids and dungeons that have left players feeling like they are more tedious than fun. That is very interesting because most of the fights listed here have certain type of mechanics that require you to be executed in order to beat those fights. Now, my personal opinion on these nerfs is that some of them are okay, but most of them are not. Because the reason...
I feel the same way. I think that some of the nerfs, like basically, for an example, is it a Chades that puts the debuff on a player whenever they're soloing the Guardian? He puts a debuff on the player that if other players need to like remove the debuff, yeah, he's the one. So that's obviously bad design. And it's not even really bad design, but like it is a problem. If you give players the option to solo it, they will solo it. And if you put the option in there, I think that it should be to some degree tuned around soloing it, or at least whenever you are going in there with one player, because obviously like the boss's health does not dynamically change. It's not like it goes up and down if a player like randomly leaves the party or somebody comes in. Whenever you go into the raid, that health is set. So that means that they can have a different type of mechanic that would occur or would not occur based off of if it's a solo encounter or if it's a group encounter, right? Because it's not a it depends on how many people are there. So like a mechanic like that sucks. Obviously, I was able to beat the boss, right? I one-shot this guy. Now, why did I one-shot this guy while soloing him? Number one, because I'm a berserker. Number two, because I had good gear. Number 3, because I'm not absolutely fucking terrible at the game. And number 4, it came right down to the fucking wire, and I literally was half a second away from dying by spamming the potion. So it was really hard. And the first 3, keep in mind, these are not, like, yes, obviously I played relatively well. But, I mean, if I went back and I did it again today, I would play much better. Because I'm just better at it. It's the same with Thing of Virtus, right? As I played it much better. Sorry, I don't mean to pause and go off on a tangent, but I agree with him fundamentally that some of the nerfs are good and some of them are not.
Why these fights feel tedious to most people is because they're simply not doing the mechanics properly.
I don't think that's the case. Didn't they buff the amount of health that Guardians have? Didn't they buff the amount of health that Guardians have in the American version? They did by 50%. Yeah, so like it's a rumor. Before launch, all regions by 50%. I think it's both HP and NA not being able to do mechanics. No, they didn't. Saint one was joking. Okay, I guess it's kind of hard to say. Saint made it up. Yeah, I have no idea. Okay, I thought it was something that was just definitive. I didn't know it was like hearsay.
The fights like Virtus, Nakrazena, Flamefox, Titlos, all of them, besides Alba-Hastings, well, even Alba-Hastings, all of the fights have mechanics to them. You might not have even noticed them by now, but all of them have certain stagger checks, they have destruction checks. They have, you know, for example, in Alba-Hastings, you have to kill the small orbs that spawn. In Ashantis, you need to kill the wings, and then you have to do the mini game. There's lots of really like hidden mechanics. For Flamefox, it's the flame buff that you can get, the stagger check. And the problem that I see, I have been pugging a massive amount on my characters because matchmaking on EU is so bad that using Party Finder is pretty much impossible, so I just matchmake.
Oh, is this because like the servers are fucked up and shit? Like that's kind of what it was before. I'm just not really sure entirely. Yeah, dude, that really sucks. Like, if that was going on with me, I would be so fucking angry. I would be so fucking frustrated. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that does really suck. I do matchmaking sometimes, too. I never even try to go into Party Finder or anything like that. I just do it for fun. That's about all there is for me.
A lot of that. And I've seen people not do any mechanics. They run away from stagger checks. They don't use battle items. I have yet to see...
I think the reason why they run away from stagger checks is because, like, for example, for some of the I think that which boss is like this? It's the Frozen Helgia. I think that's what it is. Whenever Frozen Helgia goes into the charge phase, they run away from the stagger check because they think that they think that they can't stagger it. There's nothing that indicates that it's a stagger check. All they'd see is they see a boss charging a big AoE, and so they run away. I mean, how can you blame a new player for thinking that? Because there's also other mechanics that work the exact same way, that the boss charges a big AoE, and then the player runs away. So the player, if anything, has been trained to run away. There's a stagger bar? No, there's not. Look, I did the fight the other day. Where is it? There's no stagger bar. You see? Where's the stagger bar? It's not there because there's not one. It's hidden? Then how are they supposed to know? Then how are they supposed to know how are they supposed to know? Like, there's no indicator that there's a stagger bar. So of course people are going to run away, because also Frost Helgia does another attack, the wind attack, that you do have to run away for. So, like, why would players assume that it's not the same thing? An average person, any reasonable person would think this. That's clearly a badly designed fight. That's all there is to it. It is a badly designed fight. And this was my problem with the Guardian raids fundamentally, is that part of the difficulty in Guardian raids is a lack of information. You don't know how much health the boss has. You don't know what its overall stagger bar is. You don't know where it is. Like, for example, I think running around and finding the Guardian and using flares is fucking stupid. I do. I think it's fucking stupid. It's like it's a 1 minute almost differential. It adds nothing to the fight. all you have is like an ability. It's basically like the game gives you a problem and then it gives you a solution to solve the problem. If this was not in the game and the other one was not in the game would be the exact same. It's hide and seek. It's fucking stupid. Let's watch the rest of it. Sorry. I've got a lot to say about this.
People countering our rates in low tier raids. None of this is happening in tier 3. All of it is happening in tier 1 and tier 2, right? And people are simply not putting in effort into learning the fights. They want to steamroll the content. They want to just do it, get their daily stuff done, but no one wants to learn anything. On top of that, people are probably copying from what I've seen from builds. Some people run no engraving. Some people run Grudge 1 because they think it's good. Some people run...
Well, and that's their fault, right? Because it literally says on there that you do 4% more damage and you take 20% more damage. Like, I mean, anybody who's trying to do that, they are... it's a bad idea to do that. It's a really bad idea to do that.
Horrible engravings. No one is optimizing their characters properly. I've optimized my characters without even spending money on optimizing them, just by knowing what is good to hold on to, what stone is useful and whatnot. But people don't inform themselves. They just want to rush through content. And it seems to me like a vocal minority is really going all out trying to get these rates nerfed. Now, I personally don't mind these rates. I don't care that much because it's all tier 1 and tier 2 content. So people will do it a few times and then move on to tier 3, and we never look at them again unless we are doing the synced version of them down the road at some point.
I think that a lot of people are not really going to get to tier 3. Like, and this is like one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't realize is that, like, while it might take somebody like me or you or whatever to get to tier 3, it might take them like a couple of weeks. It will take a lot of people. There are, I would say, if you looked at the amount of people in, like, and this is just like my guess, right? This is tier 1, this is tier 2, this is tier 3. There are a lot more people that are in tier 1. And in a year from now, maybe this will be slightly different. But obviously, most people are going to be in tier 1. That's only 3% of the population ever hit tier 2. Yeah, it's super uncommon. Like, I think it's a very... Like, I don't think that's true.
But these raids are not important to me.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm afraid of is that this type of adjusting and nerfing will carry over to Legion raids. And that is something I am scared of, because if this happens so fast, we are barely 3 weeks into the game. And after 3 weeks, Amazon is already deciding to nerf raids because there's a small amount of the player base that is unhappy with the current state of the raids. How is this going to evolve in the future, and is this going to affect Legion raids is what scares me, because I don't want to see nerfed Legion raids. I don't want to live with the idea that my Legion raids on EU servers or NA servers are easier than the ones in Korea.
I agree with that, and so, like, and that does make sense, I mean, for sure. But, like, what I am completely fine, not completely fine, but I think that there is some tuning that could be done for the Guardian raids to make them better. I do not think they need to retune the Abyss dungeons, because the Abyss dungeons drop the best gear in the game. They straight up, they drop the best gear in the game for anybody in tier 1 or tier 2. The Abyss dungeons are fucking fine. If you are having problems with the mechanics, like, I could probably think of maybe 2 mechanics that are like, yeah, this one's pretty intense. Like, for example, the Necromancer one with, like, the balls and, like, your screen goes gray or red or whatever. Like, does this tell you what to do? It does, but I don't think people, like, I didn't put the pieces together. I think many other people didn't either. And so that obviously happened. You're not supposed to stay in tier 1 or tier 2. What do you mean you're not supposed to stay in tier 1 or tier 2? I mean, of course that's what a lot of people are going to do. I mean, I think it would be naive to say otherwise. But you have to learn. Yeah, no. Here's how I look at it, right? And I look at it like this. I think to myself, how can the mechanics teach the player the game by just existing? How can the mechanics, just by the sake of them existing, teach the player what to do? And that's what I think the goal should be.
It feels horrible. A Guardian doesn't really matter that much. It's just a Guardian in tier 1 and tier 2. This is why I'm personally, whatever feeling about this, because
Yeah.
I think most of these
Yeah.
Guardians are absolutely fine, especially Albahastic is already a massive pushover.
I haven't done
I think
that.
Albahastic has been nerfed to the ground already for our version.
I think that the Scorpion is totally fine as well. But I think as a Berserker, it's easier for me. Like, I think that Scorpion's fine. The Flame Fox is almost fine. I would say, if I had to say for sure, I think the Flame Fox is fine. Titalos, which one was he? Oh, I don't like Titalos. I think Titalos sucks. Achates, I think they just need to change that debuff. Yeah, and that's it. Titalos is terrible. I think Titalos is just a fundamentally badly designed fight. Like, straight up. It is just a badly designed fight. Because ask yourself the question, if the balls that come out of the sandstorms were bright pink, how much easier would the fight be? And everybody knows it would be a million times easier. The fact that that is true means that the difficulty is being able to see what's even fucking happening. And in my opinion, being able to see what the fuck is going on, that is not fun. Like, I don't feel like, oh, wow, I messed up on a mechanic because the brown ball blended in with the brown ground. That sucks. And I feel that way about the entire darkness mechanic, but most of the parts of it are not really that hard anyway. Visual noise is not good. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, PoE has this problem. Yeah, PoE is horrible with this.
And now it's even easier. But like I said, it's just tier 1 and tier 2 content, so it doesn't matter that much in the long haul, because it is mostly where people learn the game, where people get going into tier 3. But I'm more afraid of what's happening in the future, and if it will affect Legion rates as well. But yeah, I want to hear what you guys think about this. Do you guys think these nerfs are needed? Do you guys think there were some hard raids? Have you guys actually put effort into learning mechanics of certain raids? Have you checked guides? Have you checked what battle items do? Because I feel like a lot of people are not doing that. Probably not those watching this video, because you're probably informing yourself, but people outside of using YouTube, not using Twitch, you know, people that aren't informed, because usually people that aren't informed are also people that don't really inform themselves.
Here's why it's happening. It's very simple. It's the same reason why the Cataclysm raids got nerfed back in Cataclysm. It's because most people do matchmaking, and matchmaking groups are hit or miss. Sometimes you have a great matchmaking group. Sometimes you have a not so great matchmaking group. So what happened in the Cataclysm Heroics is that the Cataclysm Heroics were not that hard. They really were not. They were not hard at all. But whenever you take a group of 5 people and nobody is coordinated and they just go into the fight willy-nilly and they die because they have no fucking idea what they're doing, then it becomes hard. So these fights, not these fights, but like the Cataclysm Heroics were hard with no coordination. And matchmaking means that there is no coordination. I can guarantee you, whenever you do the Scorpion in matchmaking, whenever it gets knocked down and the tail has a big blue circle around it saying, please hit me right now, and it's going to make the fight 10 times easier, people are like hitting the front of the boss. Oh, I'll get him now. Oh, yeah, bitch. You know, that's what it is. Nobody hits it. I can guarantee you that's what it's going to be. Absolutely. And so that's why it's such a hard fight, is because, and then also, then he grabs somebody with the fucking woo, woo, and he gets them, and guess what they're doing? He's swinging them around, bam, 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 and the group is not even trying to stagger them. They're running away. They're like, oh my God, this is going to hit me too. They have no idea what's going on. Why is that? It's because the game doesn't teach you what the fuck to do. It doesn't tell you. And I don't know how to make it better. I think that, like, for example, stagger checks for a boss like Frost Helgia, they should have a stagger check bar whenever they go into a cast. It's the same with Flame Fox. They should have a stagger check bar because that's what they have in the Abyss raids for stagger checks. That's what they have in dungeons for stagger checks. And it tells people what the fuck is going on. And I will never accept the idea that not giving players information is somehow a good form of difficulty. Like, this is not a good form of difficulty to me. This is just annoying. And it sucks. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Just get add-ons like in WoW. Why do you want the game to tell you everything? Why can't you have some kind of difficulty in the game? If you think that telling people to stagger the boss, that's not difficulty. Like, how bad at video games do you have to be for you to think that it's some test of skill for you to look it up on Google? It's artificial roadblocks. It sucks. I can go in right now and I will show you guys all of the mechanics that are bad for all of the bosses if you want. I will go through and I will show which mechanics I think are good and which mechanics I think are bad.
Outside of the forums, you know what I mean? And that's where I want to know, what do you guys think? Because obviously my perspective as a veteran is completely different.
Yeah, you played the game a lot, right? Yeah,
than the perspective of a new player. Does a new player feel like these raids are too hard, or is this just because you believe that people are not doing what I mentioned? Are they not doing stagger checks? Are they not doing destruction checks? Because that is what I noticed. I've done raids where I did 60% of the damage, raids where I myself carried stagger checks, where I told people keep attacking during these stagger checks, where I do counters. And I'm just wondering, am I just imagining this, or are these raids not too hard? And that is the question I have to.
And like another thing is, like with the like for Virtus, for example, whenever Virtus is enraged and Virtus does his charge that you need to counter, Virtus does not turn blue, he turns purple. That too is bad design. Because you know what I think whenever he turns purple? Oh shit, this is another mechanic. Why do I think it's another mechanic? Because the visual tell that indicates to counter is not happening. The visual tell is blue, and purple is not blue. Do you see what I'm saying? Like red plus blue? Yeah, but how do you know that? Like how would a reasonable person come to the conclusion that because the two colors are interacting with each other, that he's still staggerable? No, it's not that obviously everybody knows red and purple put together, right? That creates blue. Sure, I understand that. Or purple, whatever, right? I get that. What I'm saying is that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's happening. And never played Siren? Yeah, I mean, WoW had this problem with snapshotting and mop, but he's blue and you'll complain that you didn't see the blue, just like Titleist brown balls? No, because the blue for the stagger is much more visually, it's much more obvious. And also there's like a graphical effect that happens too. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand, like, the game should not tell you how to kill a boss. I think that almost every single game, and you know what's going to really upset some people? Is that Dark Souls tells you how to kill bosses. Dark Souls tells you exactly how to kill bosses in many ways. And it's yes, Dark Souls does this. Yes, mechanics, making content and making the game designed intuitively is a good thing. It is a fundamentally good thing. Having intuitive design is different than teaching somebody how to kill the boss.
Guys, my viewers, I want to know how you guys feel about these raids, and it's really important for me that you give me how you feel about it as new players, please, because obviously as a veteran it's completely different to me. And like I said, I feel most of these raids feel already very nerfed compared to the Russian version. But yeah, again, let's hope that this will not carry over to later raids, because I don't want to see Argos nerfed again. I don't want to see like, I don't want to see Legion rates nerfed. Okay, Dark Fox Yoho, you can be nerfed because
I haven't done that.
I hate you. The rest, no thanks. All right.
I think his concern with the more high tier raids getting nerfed is pretty realistic, and I think being upset about that and being worried about that is fair. I do think so. I disagree with the idea that some of the players should know the mechanics, like the stagger checks, etc. It's players don't know the mechanics because Guardian raids intentionally obscure them. The mechanics are intentionally obscured, and then you can't blame players for thinking to themselves, wow, I should move out of this big AoE that the boss is channeling because there's not a bar underneath him. This is what the intuitive, reasonable person would believe. Do you think it's just players not wanting to learn? No, I don't think so at all. I think that, for example, you can easily make the argument that if there is a stagger check bar, if you can't figure that out, then you're stupid. Then you're definitely 100% stupid. Like, that's your fault, not carrying one, I guess. I want to go through, I want to show you guys some of these fights. Let's look at the fights, because I do think this is really, really important. Yeah, the player should not have to go to a third-party source to find out how the game works. I agree with that. Let me log in right now. I'm going to go do Verdas, okay? That's the first fight that I think people get into and they get frustrated on. He has 3 or 4 different tells that do the same thing. Or sorry, that mean different things, but they look very similar. So let's look at Verdas. Okay. So this is the first boss that they're nerfing here. So everybody knows about Verdas. He is one of the worst ones. Under 10% of players killed Verdas. The thing is, like, and I also want to say that, in my opinion, doing this solo is, like, substantially harder. So Verdas, let's look and see what he does. Like, in my opinion, as I said before, mindlessly adventuring around, running around to the different areas where Verdas is, and needing flare, because you can remove that problem with flares. I feel like this adds no value to the experience. It just makes it worse. All right, so first thing he does is he does that. He does 3 of those in the last phase. That's a double swipe. And then here he's going to maybe do the tail. And then there's that. Let's see. Let's wait for the tail. There's the tail. And so the stun is 3 seconds. Very, very large stun. That, I think, that ability is totally fine. There's a large tell forward. It's fucking obvious. I hate this ability. I legitimately hate this fucking ability. I think it's such trash. The breath. And the reason why I don't like the breath is because it pulls your character in, and then his arms body block you in. Like you get caught in like this little V triangle, and you can't get away from him. Like, that just really sucks. And here's something that people might not know about the people might not know about this. Let me go ahead. I'm going to wait for my roll. I had to roll out of that one. There's that. So let's see. There's this. That's where now he's enraged. Okay. So he's purple. He's purple. He's not blue. He should be blue. Because blue says counter. And if you're supposed to counter, he should be blue because blue is supposed to counter. It's literally that simple to me. That's blue? That's not blue. That's purple. That is purple. Are you fucking crazy? That is obviously purple. That ability, I think, is fine, too. Like, how are you... That a bit... This sucks. There's no tell for that at all. There's literally 0 tell for the grab. I think that's garbage. The grab is terrible in like a group content. In my opinion, I don't think there should be a grab in whenever you're soloing them. This mechanic is totally fine also. This mechanic is totally balanced, totally okay. That one is fine. Grab can be interrupted in group. That's why I think it's fine in a group. See, look at that. It just sucks. Like, why does the breath do that? Watch this. So you can roll. You can roll through his tail. See right there. I mean, like, holy fuck. How fast did that happen? because he's sucking in air. I don't care about why it's happening. If you wanted to make the game realistic, your character would die in one hit. If a monster this big in real life hit you, you would be dead in one hit. The throw is dumb? Yeah, well, the throw is not the problem. The problem is the throw in solo. I think the throw and the grab in group content is totally fucking fine. I think even the tail swipe is fine. I know some melee players might not like that, but I'll show you how you can avoid the tail swipe, because a lot of melee players don't know this. Here's why I'm so adamant about this, is because I feel like whenever the game produces an unfair situation, if the player considers it an unfair situation, they won't play the game. And I think Lost Ark is one of the best games I've ever played. I love Lost Ark. Like, I genuinely do. I think it's a great game. Yeah, the freeze, and like that freeze I think is fine. And in my opinion, if you get hit by a freeze, I think that it's totally fair for him to grab you. I think that is totally fucking fair. Because you fucked up a mechanic. It's the same as whenever the, that is fucking that is purple! He's purple! Or do you look at him, he's purple? He's obviously fucking purple. See that immunity? That means that I would have gotten hit by the attack, but I didn't. That's how you can iframe through it. And you can do that with any blue ability. Okay, but then you learn what purple is. What's the big deal? What the big deal is that people are not going to learn what purple is. You know what they're going to do? They're going to think, what the fuck is this? Every other game, every other thing in here, it says blue equals counter, and now he's purple. The game trains you to think blue is counter. And then it's purple. Purple isn't what... You haven't been trained throughout the entire game that purple is counter. No, it never has been. Purple isn't anything. It trains you that blue is counter. The blue animation should completely take over the character model, and it should be only blue. How can anybody be disagreeing with this? It's completely inconsistent, it's visually inconsistent, and it's a tell that the game gives you that is wrong. How can anybody think this is okay? It's bad.